The words I'm about to read, all of you have heard many times. This is the story of the prodigal son from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 15, verses 11 to 32. Gary will be back out here momentarily to talk about this. Then Jesus said, "There was a man who had 2 sons. The younger of them said to his father, 'Father, give me the share of the property that will belong to me.' So he divided his property between them. A few days later, the younger son gathered all he had and traveled to a distant country. There, he squandered his property in dissolute living. When he had spent everything, a severe famine took place throughout that country, and he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to one of the citizens of that country, who sent him to his fields to feed the pigs. He would gladly have filled himself with the pods that the pigs were eating, and no one gave him anything. But when he came to himself, he said, 'How many of my father's hired hands have bread enough and to spare? But here I am dying of hunger. I will get up and go to my father, and I will say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Treat me like one of your hired hands.' So he set off and went to his father. But while he was still far off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion. He ran and put his arms around him and kissed him. Then the son said to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son.' But the father said to his slaves, 'Quickly, bring out a robe, the best one, and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. And get the fatted calf and kill it. Let us eat and celebrate. For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found.' And they began to celebrate. Now his elder son was in the field. And when he came and approached the house, he heard music and dancing. He called one of the slaves and asked what was going on. He replied, 'Your brother has come, and your father has killed the fatted calf, because he has got him back safe and sound.' Then he became angry and refused to go in. His father came out and began to plead with him. But he answered his father, 'Listen, for all these years I've been working like a slave for you, and I have never disobeyed your command. Yet you have never given me even a young goat so that I might celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours came back, who has devoured your property with prostitutes, you killed the fatted calf for him.' Then the father said to him, 'Son, you are always with me, and all that is mine is yours. But we had to celebrate and rejoice, because this brother of yours was dead and has come to life. He was lost and has been found.'" The word of God for the people of God.
Thanks be to God.
I don't know what's happening in this world. Parents just can't seem to raise kids the right way anymore. There's my neighbor, that's a good example. Their punk son of his took off with a bunch of his money, Came back just a few days ago. Looked like got warmed over. What did they do? They threw a party. Can you believe that? I mean, it's hard enough raising kids nowadays. Look at the example they're setting. Oh, I wouldn't have done that. No way. Me? No. Him? Yeah. I don't know if I'll ever understand that. That's a good family. Good Jewish folks, they go to synagogue regularly. Had a problem, though, with the lack of discipline they seem to have with their kids, especially that young one. That young man. He seemed like he was trouble from the day he was born. He's always into something, causing trouble, doing this, doing that. He was stealing figs from my trees. He was scaring the sheep and running them off everywhere. Always into something, not but his brother. That's a good boy right there. Good boy. He works hard. He loves his parents. He respects them. Respects his neighbors. Goes to worship regularly. We could use a whole bunch more of those kind of boys. I'll tell you that. That young one didn't surprise me at all when I heard word that he asked for the inheritance early. All he wanted to do was get out of town. That's what he wanted to do. Just get out of town. Now, the word is that he so shocked his father. His father didn't even argue with him. Didn't even try talking on him. Well, I don't know if I'd have done that. I don't believe I would have. I believe the only thing he'd have gotten from me if one of my boys had said that is, you know what he was saying. He said, you know what? I wish you were dead so I could have the inheritance. So drop dead. I would have killed one of their mamas just to hear that. My boys, I wouldn't have given them any. Maybe I'd give them a good kick in their rear end and threw them out the door. That boy, he just wanted to get out of town. He wanted to cut all ties with his family. He wanted to cut all ties, in my opinion, with common sense. That boy got out of here as fast as he could. Amazing. Now, you can imagine how the rumor mill got started around here. There were tongues wagging like you wouldn't believe. And it never got any better. Because whenever somebody went into the city to take care of business and they came back, they saw him. They brought back more and more stories. He was a big shot there. Small town boy makes it big because he's spending big money everywhere. Wild parties, you know how that is. Lion, women, and song and all that. Some of the more religious folks around here, well, he's probably going to die from one of those diseases. I don't know if all those stories were true, but they were sure believable, knowing the way he was. He kept spending and spending until it was gone. And I hear it didn't take a whole lot of time for it to be gone. He ended up in some bad positions there. That poor boy ended up with nothing. Now, when he asked his daddy for the inheritance, as I said earlier, it was like he's saying, I just seem to be dead. And in our culture, that's exactly what happened. The family would mourn that boy like he was dead. From that point on, they'd only refer to him in the past tense. That's what he said he wanted. You can imagine how hard it was on that family. Especially on his father. His father went every day down to the gate. Every day. He looked down the road, looked up the hill, just begging to see a sign of his son coming back. He tried not to show his disappointment. He tried not to show his tears, but we could see it. We didn't always understand it, but we could see it. We didn't understand it because, in our opinion, they were better off without him. That boy was a pain in the neck. He didn't do anything around the farm. He didn't do anything. They were probably better off without him. That's that they didn't have to worry, stay up late, wondering, are they going to get called by the hospital or the jail tonight? Have to go get it. He just kept on. Stories kept coming back home. And then he ran out of money. Had to get a job. Problem was, he never really did any work at home when he was growing up. So he didn't know how to do anything. He didn't have a trade. He didn't have any skills. So his job prospects were just slim at best. And then the economy took a nosedive. So he's left with no money, no house, no job, no food. He's lost everything. And all those friends he had when he was spending that big money, he didn't see hardly any of them. A couple of them were nice enough to let him sleep on the couch for a while, but then they said, you know, you got to find another way. And they kicked him out too. Finally, he did find a job with a pig farm. That may not be a big deal to you, but it sent shockwaves throughout the town. Because for us in Jewish culture, that's the worst of the worst. The pig is an unclean animal, and he's one of the worst of all the unclean animals. So the boy had already turned his back on his family. The way he was living, he already turned his back on all the morals that he was raised with. Now he's turning his back on God. And he's turning his back on all of his Hebrew culture. He's bringing shame on everybody. Every single one of us. Amazing. That boy got so hungry. He was willing to eat the pig's blood. If it hadn't killed him, he would have. It was a good thing he didn't have any more money. He didn't have opportunity to buy drugs or booze to cloud up his mind, and he had plenty of time to think. And he thought for a while. I don't know exactly what his thought process was, but he finally came to the conclusion that, you know, the servants back home, they were better off than he was. They had a warm place to stay, and he was out in the cold. They had food to eat every single day. He's starving. They even had a community, a family around him. He had nobody. He decided he was going to go back. He knew he couldn't go back as a son. He'd already told his daddy he was dead. Cut his ties with the family, but he at least wanted to be a servant. So he came up with a speech. He said, Father, I've sinned against heaven and before you. I'm no longer worthy to be called your son. Just treat me like one of your servants. And so he practiced that as he stumbled his way home. He memorized it. And then he started to come over the hill toward home. And that's when his father was standing out there at the gate again. This time, he saw something. He'd seen other people come down the road. How he knew it was his boy that far away, I'll never know. But he saw him from a long way off. And he took off on the run. How embarrassing. That hassle running low, flat in the wind like that. No dignity whatsoever. He ran after that boy. And you could see the boy coming. And he hesitated. Like he wanted to run too, but he wasn't sure. He wasn't sure how his daddy's going to respond to it. He didn't know his daddy was going to come up and embrace him or beat him. So he just stood there frozen. And his daddy got up there, grabbed him this big bear hug. As he felt that heartbeat of his father's love, tears just poured out. Poured out both of them. They kind of mingled together a flood of forgiveness. Amazing. And the servants who followed the old man out there, the father just turned to him and said, listen, get that robe, a really good one. I want it on this boy now. Get him a ring and those sandals too. And while you're at it, get that fatted calf ready because we're going to have a party. This boy was dead, now he's alive. The son who was lost was found. That's not how we wanted it to happen. We didn't think that was right. He just comes home and all of a sudden he's restored to everything? You're kidding me? No trial period, make sure it's real change. That's not how most of us thought it should happen. Most of us thought it should have been the old man who just stood there by the gate. Let that boy come all the way to the gate. Stand there, stare at him with those definitely daddy stares. Just melt you. When he gets up there, just tell him this. Boy, I knew you'd come crawling back someday. I knew you would. You have no idea what you put your mom and I through. No, embarrassed we are. The shame that's on our family. You don't deserve to even stand there at the gate. But I'll tell you this. I'm a compassionate man. And your mom and I have already talked about it. We're going to welcome you home on a couple of conditions. This is the way it's going to be. You're going to go and make sacrifices for all your sins. And not only that, you're going to be in worship every week and you're going to like it. You're going to abide by all the rules of this house. You're going to live a good life. And on top of that, your brother's now in charge of you to do what he says. You got it? And then that boy would have no other choice. He's going to be humbled and humiliated. He's going to have to accept that offer and finally get his life together. That's the way we wanted it to take place. That's not what happened. You know what happened. His father came running out to him. We were invited to the party. Everybody in town was invited to the party. We almost didn't go, but we were neighbors for so long. And honestly, we were really kind of curious about this boy. Let's see what happened to him. So we went. We felt sorry for the older brother, but we never ever remembered having a party like that for him. So we kind of understood when we didn't see him around. And there are a lot of folks from town that wouldn't come either. Understood that. But we were amazed when we saw him. We remembered this bratty, arrogant, rude boy. He was none of that. He's a young man who had a sense of peace about him. He had a calm warmth and serenity to him. He made his way around the room and talked to everyone. With tears in his eyes, he apologized for all the shame he had brought onto them. I've never seen such a transformation in somebody. I was amazed. And it just kept gnawing at me. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized it wasn't the tragedy in the far country, in the city, that changed that boy. It was the tenacious and really shameless love of his father that changed him. That's what made the difference. That gave him the security and the strength, and I think even the desire to be changed. It was amazing. I watched him that night, and he had kind of a joy. Such a deep joy. You could see it in everything about him. And I just wondered that, because it seemed like he'd experienced more joy in that one day than I had in my whole life. It made me think. And finally, after a while, I got it. I understood. I understood that saying that there's more joy in heaven when one sinner repents. And that our Father's heart overflows with joy when we come home made sense. Because it wasn't what I was thinking. I was focused on the boy. I was focused on all the things he did wrong. All the places he'd gone, the people he'd been with, and every horrible thing he did. And it wasn't about that. It was all about the Father's love. And I understood. That's what it's like with our Heavenly Father. It's not about where we've been. It's It's not about what we've done, who we've been with. It's about the fact that He loves us. And He wants us to come home. He wants us to turn away from it, but He wants us to come home. It's all about the Father's love. Something to think about, especially today. The Bible. Our most gracious God, we thank you. We thank you for your tenacious, even shameless love that allows us to come back when we would never be willing to do that. The rest of the world thinks you're so foolish to give us a second chance. But it's not about what they do. It's about who you are. We thank you that you are a God of love. God who's willing to take us back if we're willing to change our hearts. God who's willing to give us the strength to change, to become different people. So we offer ourselves to you today. We're not much, and we don't have a whole lot here to offer. But we come to give it to you and know that you'll give us an exponential amount of your grace and your love. Because that's who you are. Help us to remember that it isn't so much about us as it is about you. So we offer ourselves to you. In the name of the one who came for us, Jesus, your Son, our Savior. Amen.